We are in a Zerg versus Zerg. Obviously, we have Cheese, our winner from just then against Shakeup. And as we can see here, his opponent is going to be the yellow Zerg on the right side of Shattered Temple. And we do have Cheese up here in the blue again. Looks like both of these guys are going to be scouting the correct direction, as you generally would in these sorts of positions. And we'll see what happens. So, of course, we do have a platinum level Zerg being Doctorhuge over here, pausing for a second, and of course Cheese is the high level silver that we just saw before, doing a great job against his Protoss opponent. So we'll see what the plan for this game will be. We've obviously seen, how many Zerg versus Zergs we've seen? We've seen 3, I think it is now. And here we go, we're going to get straight back into it. Sorry about that one. And I don't know, we'll have to see what happens. As we saw before, I think we've seen Doctorhuge, we saw the Bailing Bust against Old Greg, and we've seen Cheese do, obviously just before we saw the Masslings with Infestors and all sorts of random stuff. So we'll see if anything interesting is going to come out of Cheese this time. Not really sure where this drone is going, probably just scouting out, I would assume. So, where is it going? Oh, it is going to scout, alright. As we can see there from the patrol pattern there, not really sure why it's going out to scout with a drone. Don't really need to when you can actually see your opponent straight away. As you can see here, Doctorhuge with the Overlord just coming inside here is going to scout out what is happening. And what is the plan here from Cheese? Don't know yet, but Extractor is now down for Doctorhuge. He's going to be able to get out some gas, of course, get the very quick speeding usage there, I'm assuming. Spawning pool is down, no gas just yet. Probably going to grab it, there it is. Going to grab that gas pretty quickly there and then get his own speedlings going. And Cheese is going to be ready for that, I would assume. Spawning pool down there, I think that was around about a 16 pool, so quite a little bit later than what we actually had from Cheese. And of course, he's only just scouting this one out now that he's actually quite far behind on the spawning pool, but it's not going to matter too much. Actually, it's not really too far. It's around about 10 seconds or something like that. Meanwhile, sorry, I was just typing in chat there. Yeah, he did. He's talking about you. Alright, so now is the time for things to start happening here. We do have 2 spine crawlers going up here for Cheese. Not really needing them just yet, but either way it could help with some defensive pressure. And we do see that the Roach Warren is on the way from Doctorhuge, so going straight for those roaches there, predicting that he's not really going to be too bothered by much at the moment, given that Cheese just built 2 spine crawlers, has now cancelled one, and the first one is going to be done quite shortly. Let's check out the economy tug of war for these players. Currently at the moment still sort of even, currently just in favour of Doctorhuge for the moment there. Gas is around about the same, of course, because there's only one gas for both players, as we can see. Queen meanwhile is found out that she can actually shoot at the sky and is going to take out this blimp which is just floating across here. Let's have a quick look at what this guy's doing. He's just going to scout around here, trying to see what he can before he dies, and there he goes. Going down straight away is that Overlord, and go back to normal view. Lair is on the way here for Doctorhuge, and it looks as if we actually had an Overlord dying from Doctorhuge as well, so she's doing a good job picking that straight up there. Roach Warren is on the way, is obviously a little bit later than when Doctorhuge got his up. Meanwhile, Doctorhuge deciding to put something down. I'm not sure if that was because he was supply blocked or not, but either way, double extractors are now done for Doctorhuge, so definitely going to be able to get out a lot of roaches once the roaches are prepared. One is already out, we don't have too much on the way, but an expansion is now coming through from Cheese, so he's going to be able to pump up the economy if he can hold it. If he can actually hold this expansion a little bit, for a little bit of time to get some economy coming out of it, then it would be really beneficial to him, but I think the problem is going to be that a lot of roaches are going to start popping out in a second from Doctorhuge. They're blocking that ramp perfectly there, going to be able to block any sorts of zergling run-bys there. As we can see, all those guys, they were on hold position, but either way. As we can see now, Doctorhuge, I think, has realized that he's in a little bit of a good position here. If he can actually get up to the base as fast as possible and actually either snipe off this expansion or just get straight in here and deal with this main base here from Cheese, it looks as if a secondary spine crawler is going to go down as it was before. And the roaches are now starting to come out for Cheese as well. But unfortunately, the problem he has is that there's a lot of lings coming along here from Doctorhuge, and it looks as if the roaches are going to do their best to try and hold the ramp. They certainly can hold the ramp here for the moment, but the expansion obviously had to be cancelled. The drone dying off for that one as well. I think this is going to be a little bit of a problem here for Cheese. He's only got this one spine crawler. 6 roaches are out for the moment. A couple more are coming through as well, but it's certainly not enough to help defend against this just yet. But the spine crawler is going to set Doctorhuge back just a little bit here to make sure he doesn't come in too aggressively. But we've got tunneling claws are on the way. No burrow just yet, so we won't be able to actually use a tunneling claws just yet. But we'll see. It looks as if a hatchery is going to go down at the natural expansion here. He was certainly in a position to run by and actually kill off this base, but I think he's just a little bit hesitant. Obviously, it's better to play safe than sorry. And we'll see if he's actually going to be able to capitalize with some burrow. Burrow is now on the way here. This will actually be really cool if he can get inside with these burrowed roaches and deal a lot of damage to the mineral line of Cheese. Looks as if some lings are going to try and run by. Here he has spotted, of course, with the Overlord that the expansion was going down there. Looks as if Doctorhuge is actually going to catch out some of these roaches from Cheese. It looks as if they may get a bit stuck behind there, catching one of them out. This one is going to die straight away. They are trying to get into a bit of better position, but it looks like they aren't going to be able to. They're sniping out these roaches. He's going to get cornered here, and they are going to get all slaughtered by that green gooey acid stuff. And there we go, just slowly sniping away these roaches here. Not going to be able to save too many of those, but does get a few of them away. And Cheese is going to have to save them to fight another day. There are a total of 12 roaches out for Doctorhuge, 10 for Cheese at the moment. So we'll see if he's going to be able to sort of catch up on that count and actually get his expansion up. Because as we saw before, we actually have an expansion just about done here for Doctorhuge, so he's going to be able to get his economy going a little bit faster here. Not to mention, given his roach advantage at the moment, he's certainly going to be able to power away at the forces of Cheese. Looks as if the spiky hair is now done for the roaches, so they're going to be able to burrow, and as we can see here, he does burrow them, tries to get a few hits in there, but it's not done just yet. As we can see here, the roach is trying to push through here. There is no overseer just yet. The lair is barely started there, as we can see here. In fact, that's only just about a sort of a third done just about now. And check this out, we actually have a hatchery going down at the goal. That's not really going to do too much. However, it's not going to get spotted just for the moment, which is interesting, until the creeps starts coming out when the hatchery is actually done. But just waiting to see when Doctorhuge is going to push through with this. He certainly can at the moment. What I don't want to see is him wait a little bit longer, because the Overseer is going to come out in a minute. And as we can see, a couple of spore crawlers being built as well. Roaches burrowing down. They are going to regenerate their health just a tiny bit there. And as we can see here, they are going to be able to move around. A little bit of micro would keep these alive a really long time. Spore crawler is now done all over the place here. We got 3 spore crawlers. Definitely going to be able to cover his whole base with detection to make sure that the burrowed roaches don't get too far without being spotted. And as we can see here, we actually have a lot of harvesters actually popping out here for Doctorhuge, so he's decided that pumping up his economy might be a little bit better for him at the moment, and it certainly is going to help him out once he gets to the stage of just deciding to 1A against Cheese, because Cheese is in a really bad position for the moment here. However, this sneaky sort of badly positioned hatchery is actually going to really help him out if he can just get that gold coming out as fast as possible, but deciding to get the extractors instead. Probably want to see some... Oh, there they are. We actually have drones transferring down. A queen is now done here. This could be very interesting. We actually have a total count of 11 roaches for Doctorhuge, 19 for Cheese. So it looks as if Cheese may be able to snipe out some of these roaches. This could be an epic comeback if we've ever seen one. Taking out 2 of the roaches there. roaming along there. Some of the roaches still underground there from Doctorhuge. It looks as if he may be in trouble here. If Cheese gets a good surround on some of these units, this could go very interestingly. More roaches coming down. I don't think that Cheese has enough to stop this particular attack, to win the battle here, but it looks as if he's going to be able to do a fair amount of damage. Took out a queen, has taken out some drones. It is going to lose his forces eventually, but Doctorhuge finally repelling that attack, but certainly doing a great job. And you know what this has done? This has actually given Cheese a lot of time to get his economy going at this hidden, sort of hidden expansion. Interesting to see that Doctorhuge hasn't actually spotted that yet. If he looks very carefully, we'll be able to see the mining animation on the gold rocks there. But he's obviously just a tiny bit out of position to see that properly. So this could be a really awesome comeback here from Cheese, given the position that he was in. He still hasn't spotted anything just yet. If these overlords just move a tiny bit further inside, they will be able to see it. However, given the angle they're moving at the moment, does see a tiny bit of creep there. He should be able to see it now if he has a look, and there he goes. He does know that it is there. Going to be able to move in there, but I think this could start turning in the favor of Cheese. He has obviously switched a lot of his drones over to the gold expansion, but it's really going to help him out. If we have a look at the economy tug of war again, we do have Doctorhuge still just around about 300 minerals in front for the moment. Obviously, the difference being the distance that these drones have to actually move to get to the gold rocks is not really helping them out there. But either way, it is keeping him in the game for the moment. And also the problem being that Cheese is just quite far behind in the harvesters at the moment, as we can see. Let's have a look at the tech that we've got. We do have the Spire down there, +1 to weapons is on the way. We're probably going to have a few mutas on the way shortly. Roach movement and a few more roaches and +1 to missile attacks are on the way from Cheese. He's certainly got the economy to beef up some of his units, and we will probably see, there it is, 10 mutas are on the way. This is probably going to be the GG soon from Cheese once these mutas move inside. Obviously they'll have a little bit of trouble getting inside to the main. There are the 3 spore crawlers here, but they are certainly going to be able to make short work of that gold expansion. And now, given that Cheese only has this 1 spore crawler and the gold to protect the queen, to protect the gold, this is going to go down quite quickly. Mutas now starting to pop out. All 10 of those mutas are now up and running. Some more roaches are going to start moving across the map here. Cheese is going to get into this position and be in just quite a shock here. Seeing the mutas popping along there, smashing through some of those roaches here. However, the roaches are just running by. They don't actually care. They're just coming through. Do not argue. And the roaches are now going to move inside here. The drones do have burrow. There's no overseer here just yet. The overseer actually got sniped off by those mutas. But the roaches are going to be able to clean out the roaches of Doctorhuge. Obviously, the expansion is now dead as well. More mutas are still popping out here from Doctorhuge. He certainly is going to be able to make a meal of all these roaches eventually, but the problem is, will he actually lose his bases before that actually gets done? These roaches are doing huge amounts of damage here. Obviously they do have +1 to weapons here, may be able to snipe out some of these drones as well. If he can do that, that'd be fantastic. The problem that he has is that there are way too many roaches here defending from Doctorhuge, not to mention the mutas are now inside his own base, and they are going to start picking off things. The spore crawlers do deflect them for the moment, but the roaches have finally died off for Cheese, so he's going to have to probably succumb to the power of the mutas in just a moment here. But he's certainly doing a nice job trying to micro around these roaches. Obviously they do move really fast on the creepers, we can see there with their +2 movement upgrade. And as we can see, these drones still surviving there. Obviously burrowed. The queen is a bit burrowed there as well. She's got a really fat head that you can see when she's burrowed. And the mutas have essentially held off that attack for the moment. Of course, the one problem for Doctorhuge is that he's just sitting here with these minerals left over at the main, which are getting a little bit low, but the easy way he can account for that is to deal with the gold. But it looks as if Cheese is definitely prepared for this. He's got some spore crawlers there. He's got some hydras out now. This could again turn back into the favor of Cheese if he's careful with these hydras. Make sure that these are covered when he moves out. He may actually be able to deal with this whole shenanigans here from Doctorhuge. And it looks as if the hydra's sitting across the ridge there doing good damage against these roaches as they do. The roaches, however, in a little bit of a superior number. Hydra's still picking away at some of the roaches, but they don't think they're going to be able to actually win this battle here. The mutas are going down slowly to these spore crawlers. Probably want to unburrow that, then reburrow that somewhere else given how fast they actually move, but either way, I think that's probably going to be it here from Cheese. He's certainly done a great job of trying to actually hold this game together here, doing some great switches there with the Hydras, of course, and obviously the Spore Crawlers being great defensive units against the Mutas and that sort of thing. But I think just that early portion of the game where he kept losing his hatcheries has sort of given it away for him there. And there goes the hatchery there at the goal, and that's probably going to be it here. As we said, we do have an interesting economy situation here where Doctorhuge only has 16 drones, but he certainly does have a lot more attacking units. Of course, the roaches are going to be able to move around and take out some of these units. Spore Crawler out of the ground, out of the creep there, not going to be happy. And that's going to go down in just a second. What have we got coming along here from Cheese? Well, let's have a look at the production tab. We've got 5 roaches on the way from Cheese. We've got 3 on the way from Doctorhuge. This is going to go back into a roach war again. And as we can see, do they not have their movement upgrade? No, they don't. Please grab the movement upgrade, Doctorhuge. You've got 1,000 minerals. Step on it. Not to mention grab this expansion as well. He's going to need to grab that. There he goes. Excellent job. And as we can see, 2 Hydras on the way from Cheese. Of course, his economy really shutting down now, given that he actually does not have that gold. Interesting positions here is that he actually has 1,000 gas built up, and that Doctorhuge has 1,000 minerals built up, and not many gas. But looks as if the final push is going to attempt to come through here. A lot of roaches ready to roll into this base here, but the problem they're going to have is that these Hydras do good damage against the roaches. Of course, there are a lot of spine crawlers to poke away at the roaches when they come through as well, not to mention the Spore Crawlers sitting there at the back as well. Loving that Hydra den position there, very cool. We got a shout out here to Lebus, don't know who that is, either way. And the still got no extra, there's 3 extra Hydras popping out now. Obviously the Spine Crawlers are going to help out with the defense there. We'll see if he can lure them in, tries to lure them into the Spine Crawlers, but just keeping them in check for the moment here. If Doctorhuge gets this up, he's definitely going to be able to win this game quite easily. But as we said, we've had some interesting tech switches for this particular